Yo 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 yo, what's going on? How we doing on this nice Saturday night here, man? How everybody doing? It's your dog Tidy checking in, man. Want to talk a little bit about the Falcons first preseason game versus the Detroit Lions, which was actually last night. But I want to come on and kind of give you my thoughts on what I saw on it here tonight. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, aunties and uncles, baby mamas and baby daddies, the NFL is officially back, Jack, and I couldn't be happy. I could not be happy. Y'all know I've been saying, man, like, look, it was going to get here before we know it. Before we know it, we had a little dry spell, but we officially back in this thing, man, and it is great to have football back in this world, man. That's one thing a lot of us can agree on is we all love the game of football. So the Falcons had their first preseason game, of course, against Detroit. Before I really get into the ins and outs, I do want to wish a well wishes to and I am so sorry, y'all. I should have actually looked it up to refresh myself. But I do want to send my well wishes to the Detroit Lions player who was injured last night. The last update I saw on it was him relaying to everybody that he's good. He's talking, he's moving, he's breathing, so that's a good thing. But I want to wish him a very, very speedy recovery. That was not a good scene last night to watch. But I am glad to know that he is progressing and hopefully he will be back better than he ever was. So, I'm sending him well wishes, sending him good vibes, and also good prayers on a speedy recovery. As I'm sure y'all already know, we really only played 3 quarters last night because of his injury. The players, the coaches for the Lions and the Falcons, and the players decided, like, look, we're gonna honor our guy. We're gonna show some respect, and we're done. We ain't gonna play anymore. And what happened is the Falcons snapped the ball, and they just let the clock run. Falcons snapped the ball. So I mean, what they did was technically legal in terms of having the clock moving. I didn't notice until after the game, but they snapped the ball, and the Falcons just didn't move. Detroit didn't move, and they just started talking to each other. And pretty much forced the NFL's hand to suspend the game. They say suspend, but they might as well say cancel. You and I know they're never going to finish that game. So they called the game in the 4th quarter. So we really only saw about 3 quarters last night. But again, I wish that young man the very best and a very, very speedy recovery. And I'm happy to know that he's doing a lot better. So, with that said, let's hop in the chat real quick and we'll talk a little bit about the game. We got Philip Crawford in the building. What's going on with you, Philip? How we doing, man? So defense going to make a movie this season. I hope you're right, my friend. I definitely hope you're right. I saw some good things from the young cats last night on the defensive side of the ball. I think for the most part, they put together a pretty good showing for the most part defensively last night. I saw a lot of energy out there, what you always want to see from your guys. I saw them moving and shaking and bouncing around, a lot of good energy. You could tell that they were hyped, to be back on the field, to have the pads back on. Some of the guys, their first time playing an official NFL game in the bin. So, you had some of that dirty bird energy rubbing off. But, it was a good showing overall, I think, for the defense, for the very, very most part. Got our dog 3 Dirty in the building. Yo. What up, 3 Dirty? How we doing, man? Appreciate you coming in. We got our brother Coach is in the building. As usual, checking in. What's going on with Coach, man? Hope everything is going good with you, my friend. Appreciate you coming through. As usual, we got Kiana's man is in the house. What's going on, Kiana? Says, what up, Tidy? West Macon in the building. Represent that 478. Shout out to the 478. Shout out to the whole west side of Macon, from Bloomfield to Unionville and everything in between. Shout out to the whole Mactown in this thing. What's happening, man? I actually went to a club. Well, I shouldn't say no club. I actually went out to a bar last night, which is kind of a big deal for me because I'm like an introvert. I don't really get out very much. So I went to a bar downtown, making Kiana's. It's called, what's the name of that bar? It got something about a piano in the name, like 570 Piano Dwelling. It's kind of an odd name, but I went out there and had me like a drink, you know. I guess it was okay. It really wasn't nobody in there, but I was out in the streets of downtown making last night, man, strolling and whatnot. Then I me and my girl end up walking on Cherry Street, the next block over. And then we realized, it's a little too crunk. You know, this is like the young folks side. We got to get back where the aunties and the uncles hang out at. Because once you cross over the Cherry, boy, it was like a whole total world. And that was like 20 years ago when I was vibing like that. So we had to come back to the old folks side. Shout out to the MacTown. Lisa that bit. What's going on with you, Lisa? She said it was so much fun being back in the bins. Falcons football is back. Yeah, I had to actually go get my Falcons cup tonight, man, you know, because just in that football spirit, I really wish I would have been there last night with you also, Lisa. But, you know, maybe next time. Maybe next time. Got our brother Antonio in the house. What's going on with Antonio? This is BirdGang Jones. What's happening with Antonio, man? Hope everything is going good with you, my brother. Appreciate you coming through as usual. At least it was like a Falcons family reunion. That's the beautiful thing about football, man, is that camaraderie through the players and the camaraderie through the fans. You know what I mean? And that's the great thing about the sport, man. You know, football is such a sport built on bonding, you know, through the players, of course, and also through the fans. You know, once as a fan base, you know, you start to bond with people that may sit next to you every time you go to the game, may sit to your right, may sit to your left. You know, y'all start to build a bond too. So, hey, man, this is God's sport. Football is God's favorite sport. And I'm just glad it's back from the NFL to high school to college, man. I love it. Lisa said, yeah, it was a scary scene. We knew it was serious when the Grady ambulance came onto the field. Yes, indeed. And again, I'm just glad that he's doing much better. I don't know if he's been released from Grady yet, but I certainly hope so. But yeah, it was a scary scene. I had never saw before in the NFL where they just let the clock run. And I was wondering to myself watching that, I was like, why won't they just call the game instead of just letting the clock run? But I see now it was really the players and the coaches making the stands. Like, look, what y'all gonna do if we decide we ain't gonna finish? You know, y'all gonna have to call it. So they put pressure on the NFL and they got the call from New York. Okay, end the game. And that's what happened. Got our boy Brian C in the building. What's going on with you, Brian? Representing that 404 in this thing. Shout out to everybody in the 404 inside the perimeter, outside the perimeter, everybody in the outskirts. Shout out to Amaretta, the whole Metro Atlanta in this thing. Especially big shout out to the 404, the home of the Beans in this thing. What's happening? Got our brother Winston Storm in the building. What's going on with you, dog? Says, what's going on, chat? Smash the like button. Yes, y'all do hit that like button for me. Appreciate you. That reminder. Also, Winston, yes, hit the like button for me. You can feel free to share it. Hit the notification bell as well. Excuse me, y'all. My bad. And also make sure to check out Winston and also John on iTest. They normally come on every Wednesday at 10 p.m. So make sure to show them a bunch of love. As we used to say back in the 80s, be there or be square. Tonio says 404 and a 706 in the building. Bang, bang. Shout out to the 404. Shout out to the 706. Shout out to Columbus in the house. As I've always told y'all a million times already. I won't tell y'all again. But that's definitely was one of my former stomping grounds in my younger years. We got our dog Zigzag in this thing. What's happening, Zigzag? I'm chilling, man. Hope everything going good with you, man. Appreciate you coming through. I know it's been a little minute, but the birds are back, dog. It's showtime. It is showtime. Regular season gonna be here in a flash. Watch what I tell you, in a flash. Regular season gonna be here in a flash. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be here quicker than we know it. John Kemp in the house. What's happening with you, John? Says, what's up, Ty? The defense was great, but I think we need a run stopper in another corner. I think did we sign another safety today? Was it Raheem Harmon? I hope I'm saying this name right. Y'all gotta forgive me, man. I've been out the loop, life been lifing for me, so I ain't been as keyed in and focused as I normally would be around this time. But I'm about to tie some loose ends together, and I'm gonna be back on it like I normally do. But I think we signed a guy. What's his name? Raheem Harmon. No, we signed a safety. I think I'm saying the name right, but I'm sure somebody in the comment section will let me know. Got our brother James in the house. What's going on with you, James? Says, what it do? Hey, man, chilling like a villain, man. Just enjoying the nice, quiet Saturday night, brother. I could not complain. Hope everything going good for you, James. Appreciate you coming in as always. Tonio says, what's up with you, mister, with that being said, hey, man, I'm chilling, bro. Chilling, doing good, man. Doing good. Just, as we said back in the old school, been doing a lot of ripping and running, man, and just, whole lot of stuff, just putting stuff together, relocating, stuff like that. Beyond that, just whole lot of stuff, man. Just a whole lot of stuff. But, I'm about to get back, settled down. I'm moving at a slower pace, and that way, I can be where I need to be. Miss B's in the house. What's going on with you, Miss B? Long time no see, no hear. Hope everything going well. Appreciate you coming in. Yeah, y'all. So appreciate everybody coming in, man. Y'all make sure to smash that like button, and let's get to it, man. Atlanta Falcons, Detroit Lions. Start off in first say I think Easton Stick looked pretty good last night. I think he looked pretty good. If this was baseball, I would say he pitched a good game. He had some good stuff going on, but this is football, so I think he did a pretty fine job, leading the offense, maneuvering the offense, I think he looked pretty good. I think he looked pretty good. He made some good throws last night. There were a few throws that he missed deep, but that's okay. That's why you play preseason, for times like this. But I think overall he did good. I was not familiar at all with Easton Stick. I want to say, and y'all please correct me in the chat, but I think he been in the league a few years. He played for the Chargers, I think, or somebody like that prior coming to Atlanta. Y'all helped me out a little bit on that. But I think he looked pretty good last night. I really do. I liked his poise, like how he kept his eyes downfield. And I like the fact that it was like, look, hey, man, this might be my only time, outside of other preseason games, but you know what I mean? It might be my only time being on TV this year, get my name called. Shoot, I'm about to get out here. I'm about to do my thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to put some good tape out here for any of the teams, if something happened, during the year and they need a backup quarterback, because, of course, he going to be the backup to the backup. So he going to be like the emergency quarterback in Atlanta. But, hey, if any other team's quarterback go down and they need a reliable backup, I'm going to be first on their list of the people they're going to call. So I'm going to put out some good tape. So I think Easton Stick did a good job, man. I think he did a real good job, man. He made some good passes. Again, I like the poise that he showed in the pocket. I liked his decision-making as well. I don't feel like he put the ball in harm's way really any last night that I can remember off the top of my head right now. I think he did a real fine job throwing the football last night. And if that's going to be our third string backup, man, hey, we're in a good position, because if Kurt is the backup, we'll have the best backup in the NFL. Arguably, a top 15, 16, 17 quarterback in the NFL, regardless of being a starter or not. There's still some Falcons fans that feel like, hey, man, Kurt still should be the starter. He was injured. He's healthy now. So, hey, if anything, there should have been a position battle going into camp You know, maybe we shouldn't have just gave Penix a job. You know, they should have been a position battle. But, you know, hey, that's for another show. They have already announced that Michael Penix will be the starter week 1 against Tampa Bay. But again, I like what I saw from Eastern Stick. I really was impressed, y'all, by Dylan Drummond, number 81. Where's this guy from, y'all? Where's this guy from? Hey, man, that boy was out there balling last night, man. He ran some nice routes, ran some crisp routes. He didn't drop no passes that I remember. Every time I turn around, hey, Dylan Drummond on the reception. Dylan Drummond on the reception. I'm like, who is this cat? Who is this guy? But he was out there balling, man. You know, and I'm talking about how, you know, how Eastern Stick did a good job leading the offense, maneuvering the offense. Dylan Drummond did a good job catching the ball, you know, moving the chains, bouncing right back up like, yeah, what's up? I'm trying to get a job, man. I'm trying to get on this 53-man roster. You know what I mean? Even if it ain't nothing but a practice team. You know, shoot, I came out here to get the job done, and you know, and secure me a paycheck. So shout out to Dylan Drummond also, man. I think he played a very, very, very good game, man. Very good game. You know, he could find, you know, himself getting a spot. I should have pulled up the stats. How many catches did Drummond have? I didn't even pull up the stats, y'all. I told you I've been like so out the loop lately, man. Let me pull up the stats here real quick. He had to have at least 5 catches, I'm guessing, right? Let's see. Yeah, he had 6 catches. No, that ain't 6. I ain't got my glasses. Oh, damn, he had 8 catches. 8 catches for 63 yards. Okay, I can go for that. He played good. Chris Blair came up pretty big last night with that touchdown catch. Good pass, good throw. Eastern Stick was 15 for 18. Oh, I didn't know he was dealing like that. I mean, I knew he was dealing, you know what I'm saying? But this is my first time looking at the stats. I didn't look at the stats or nothing up until now. 1 touchdown, 120 passing rating, excuse me. So yeah, hey man, Eastern was really getting off. Eastern Stick was really doing that thing, man. You know, hey man, that's a nice guy to be your third string quarterback, man. That's hey. It's a nice guy. Emory Jones got in late. You know, he pretty much I think handed the ball off for the most part. It looks like he was 4 for 5, excuse me, on passing attempts. Damn, we were 19 for 23 as a team throwing the football. So yeah, that was damn good. How efficient we were passing the ball, it makes me wonder like why we only put up 10 points. But you know, that's a whole nother story. Who else? I don't think we did much running the ball. I don't remember nobody popping out when we ran the ball. Looked like we struggled to run the ball. Nathan Carter, Emory Jones. Yeah, we didn't do much running. I think they were just trying to get the backups throwing the ball and, you know, get them in a good rhythm and, you know, get their confidence up and whatnot. So not much to talk about in regards to running. I will say that I did like that linebacker, number 42, Josh Woods. I think he played a pretty good game, man. He was around the ball a lot last night. In fact, looks like he led us in tackles. Yeah, I just saw him around the ball a lot last night. Got a good nose for finding the football and getting to the ball and making a play. 1 tackle for loss. So hey, I like what I saw from Josh Woods. I gotta be transparent and blunt with y'all. I don't know where he's at on the depth chart at this point, but he's gonna be fighting for some PT. Looks like, you know, he may be fighting JT Bertrand for some playing time, or you know, or even a roster spot. Or hey, coach, just put me on special teams. You know, put me on. You can depend on me. I'm gonna come out here and I'm gonna play hard for you, coach. Just like I did this first preseason game. So I think Josh Woods played a hell of a game last night, man. Every time I looked up, I seen number 42 around the football, making a play. Hey, you do that, son. You consistently do that. Play hard, practice hard. You're going to have a spot on the team. You know, you might not be a starter, but we're going to find a spot for you. And eventually, we're going to find a way to get you in the game. We're going to find some packages, you know, to put you on. So I like what I saw from Josh Woods. Now of course, this goes without saying. I watched a little bit of Xavier Watts too and Billy Bowman, but I had to go back and watch them in detail because it was the preseason game and it kind of, the game was on TV. It kind of flashed real fast. I don't know if it was just me and how I seen the game, but it just flashed like wow, and it was over. I was like, damn, it's already the fourth quarter. So, and I don't know, maybe they do the production differently for preseason compared to the season games. Maybe they don't go as in depth with the camera angles and analysis, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But it seemed like the game just. Whew. But anyway, so I couldn't watch everybody I want to watch. So I just had to kind of pick a few people. Like, look, I want to see this guy. I want to see this guy. I want to see what he gonna do. I want to see what he got. I sure want to see what he gonna do. You know what I'm saying? I want to see what he gonna do. One of those guys was, of course, hey man, I had Jalen Walker. Of course, you know what I mean? Damn good dog. You know what I mean? I wanted them to draft Jalen Walker. That ain't saying much being a Georgia fan. Every year I want them to draft the Bulldog. Every year I want them to draft the best Bulldog. But that's just me being biased. I'm gonna be honest. That's just me being biased. But hey, I was glad when they called Jalen Walker name. I think Jalen Walker played for his first NFL game, even though it was preseason. I think he did okay. I'll say that. I think he did okay. There were some good things that I saw from Jalen Walker, getting off the ball. There were some times where I don't know what was going on, whether or not the snap count confused him or whatnot. But I think sometimes he got out the blocks a little late. I got to be honest. Hey, that's my dog now. I got on the Georgia shirt actually tonight. Y'all see that Bulldog. You know what I'm saying? Back national champion. But anyway, but I got to be honest, man. Sometimes he got out the blocks a little slow. I don't know what was going on. I don't know they confused him about the snap count or what. Sometimes he got out the block a little slow. So we gotta work on that. Sometimes he came out the block real good. And I think he had his I can't speak for him, but I think he had a welcome to the NFL moment last night too, a few times. Because in college, when you're playing like Vanderbilt or Florida or even Tennessee, his teammates team, he was able to use his strength to just boom, just knock guys, get off me, boom. I was just run through the boom. And I saw him last night, man. Them tackles like, hold on, young fella. Hey, boy, this ain't the SEC. This the big dog of the big dog football, bro. That stuff that you were doing in college, nah, you gotta stay in that weight room, young man, because you ain't finna just run through us like that, bro. You know what I'm saying? You don't run through us like that. So I saw some moments when he would try a power rush. Nah. And then it's funny because I'm him being a Georgia Bulldog. I'm remembering that move worked more times than not in college. That power rush and then use his speed to just pursue to the quarterback. Not last night, bro. They were not having that. And then sometimes, when they would run toward him, they throw two men out on him. Like, we're gonna just take you out to play, Ricky. See ya. Let's take you out to play. But there was some good too. I saw last night, even though I do say all of this, I saw also last night what made him, a first round draft pick. I saw that desire to compete. Like, look, y'all might be doubling me, but I'm not gonna quit. Okay, tackle. Hey, you got the best of me out there, but look, I'm gonna play to the whistle and snap, and I'm gonna go a little bit after that. So I saw that desire to compete, that will to not quit out of Jalen last night also. So again, I think he did okay. I'm not gonna sit here and just because he played for Georgia and I'm a Georgia guy, I say, oh man, yeah, he balled last night. I can't say that. Maybe I'll go and watch it again and see something differently. But he played okay. I saw some good from him, and then I saw him get his lunch money took a few times last night too, y'all. Go lie to you now. I can't lie to you. I saw them take his lunch money a few times last night too. But he'll continue to get better. I got no doubt about it. He'll continue to get better. They'll continue to work with him, and he'll improve. He'll definitely improve. I love the fact that they played. I don't know how. I want to say they played 2 quarters. I think they let them play 2 quarters. They got a lot of snaps. You know, Jalen got a lot of snaps. I saw a lot of him last night. He got a lot of snaps. Now, somebody else I watched a lot last night. Brandon Dorless. Brandon Dorless actually caught my eye last year. One thing about Brandon Dorless that really caught my eye last year, because I think he only played about 50, 55 snaps total in 2024. He didn't play a whole lot, but he played enough to get recognized, if that makes any sense to anybody. But one thing that I picked up on last year that really caught my eye with him was his hand technique. How he uses his hands. You know, as a defensive lineman, his hand technique. To me, I first saw it last year. He uses his hands like a defensive end, or even an outside linebacker would use their hands to get off blocks. I'm hoping that he becomes a damn good player for the Falcons, of course. And I don't want to, as Big Lo said, I want to get butt naked, but I just don't recall anybody sticking out to me that pop out that uses their hands like he uses his hands to get where he need to go and where he want to be and move blockers how he wants to move them. I mean, this dude, he used his hand like he a hibachi chef. I mean, I'm like, damn, this guy got some damn good technique with his hands. Man, I can't remember anybody playing for the Falcons year 1, year 2. I'm talking about their hand technique, getting off blocks. And he showcased that a good bit last night. I saw it even last night because when I saw it last night, I was like, okay, so that just wouldn't look last year, bro. You know, that just wouldn't look. You really not to, use them hands. You know what I'm saying? You really not to use them hands. So he was really using them hands last night. I even saw now he surprised me one play too, because he did a bull rush. I was like, Brandon, I don't know if you're strong enough to be bull rushing folks. You better stick with your hands, bro, because that's what you're really good at. I don't know if bull rush gonna be your thing. But shoot, he brought that bull rush and he moved that dude. He moved the block. I think that was a guard that was blocking him. But regardless, he moved, buddy. I didn't think he had it in it, because I'm gonna be honest with you. I tend to think he's a little undersized, a little bit. I feel like 10 more pounds may do him well. Maybe in 15 if he's gonna be playing on that line. So I feel like he's a little bit undersized. And that does worry me about him. I'm going to be honest. That worries me about him possibly being undersized. But Brandon Dorless played a damn great game last night, man, is what I'm trying to really say. I like the bull rush that I saw from him. I think he's going to, if this guy can develop a potent bull rush with his hand technique to get off blocks and move people out the way, bro. Hey, that might make a Pro Bowl or 2 or 3 or 4, man. I'm telling y'all, Brandon Dorless played a damn good game last night. Made some plays. I want to say he forced a fumble. And he just brought a lot of energy. Them young guys got them young legs, so he had a lot of energy last night. And I think he played extremely well. Extremely well. Again, I am a little concerned. He may be undersized. But we're going to see. We're going to see. He may be one of them undersized cats that just worked great for him. We will see what he does with that and how he do it. But I was very, very, very impressed with Brandon Dorless. Again, hibachi chef. You know what I mean? Like, that boy in them hands, I like what I saw. Like what I saw from Brandon Dorless, man. He played a good amount too. I saw my boy Big Rook or Ruru was out there also. I think Rook did pretty good. I really want to see Rook, who got a fairly good amount of playing time last year as a rookie. I want to see him take his game to the next level also. I watched him sparingly because I was just focused on like pretty much the guys that I mentioned to y'all on defense. So I didn't get to see a whole lot of what he did and how he did it. I really focused on the young guys. Well, Ruka's a young guy too, but I was focused really on the rookies. Then Brandon Doyle's, and then I couldn't help but watch Josh Woods because he was making plays everywhere. Now that's gonna lead me to Mr. James Pierce Jr. out of Tennessee. Now, James Pierce Jr., who we traded up to acquire late in the first round last year, who actually slipped in the draft due to some character concerns. So it was a surprise to hear that Atlanta Falcons traded up to get a guy who had some character concerns. Because that man could have possibly been top 10 draft pick if he had, that had them character issues. But anyway, Tennessee. That boy balling last night. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all this. If you looking strictly on the stat sheet, in fact, let me see what they got him on the stat sheet. If you looking strictly on the stat sheet, the stats are not going to tell you that James Pierce Jr. was balling last night. In fact, I don't see him on here. I'm just scrolling. I ain't got my glasses on. But anyway, you ain't gonna be able to tell that he was balling strictly looking on stat sheets because the stat sheet's not gonna tell you that. James Pierce Jr. showed me last night, like, look, I can do it all when it comes to rushing the passer. I'm not Adam Hutchinson, as far as like just a big brute guy. I'm gonna be more of a technically sound athlete rushing the passer. I saw him, speaking of bull rush, I saw a little bit of his bull rush, even though I don't really think that's his thing, but I saw him try. I saw him go inside, outside, swim move last night, and it worked. He had that tackle on his wheels, inside. I'm gonna fake it inside, like he been watching B. John, right? Like he been saying, like, I'm gonna watch B. John. I'm gonna put some of that in my game. Like he just been watching B. John in practice, so he go inside, like hit you that. Then go out and then swim past you. I saw him put that move on dude. I'm like, damn, that's something that you see from guys year 5, year 6 in the league, who rush the pass. And I'm like, man, he's already got that move in his repertoire. Bam, inside, outside swim, go. I even seen a double swim from him also. Ooh. And that worked too. And he was putting pressure on the quarterback, but the quarterback would just get out of the way. But I don't want to use Mike Smith saying when he said sacks are overrated, because I really don't think sacks are overrated. But a little bit of the logic came into play when you watched James Pierce Jr. last night. Watch him playing football, because although he was not getting the sacks, he kept the quarterback uncomfortable. He kept him off his point. He kept him having to move. He kept him having to move that pocket. He couldn't just sit in that pocket to be comfortable. Pierce had him on the run. And now that big, y'all go back and watch this when you can. But I forget who threw the ball. Was it Hendon Hooker? I don't remember. But the Lions completed a 68-yard pass against us. And boy, James Pierce Jr. I think that's the play where he did the double swim move. I'm like, boy, this a rookie doing this. Now, granted, he went playing against, what's up, mate? Granted, he went playing against like the first team offense, but you already saw what he was gonna bring to the table. You could already see what he bring to the table, even on run plays. I saw them. They was trying to like wham block him at one time, and he got by the block and forced the running back. I forget who ran the ball from him. I forget his name. But he forced him to choose a different hole, and Brandon Doyle's was waiting right there to make a tackle. I think that was either a tackle for loss or it was for no gain. But that stuff you don't see in the stat sheet. That play was. I'm not saying that Brandon Doyle didn't do anything good, but the main contributor of that was James Pierce Jr. and what he was doing. And I just spoke about my boy Jalen Walker. Looked like he came out the blocks a little slow. I didn't see that from Pierce Jr. last night. That boy shot at the ball like a cannonball. Boom. You know, I'm talking about he came out. Boom. I'm ready to go. Boom. Every time that ball was snapped, hit it straight up field. Sometimes he over pursued, and that's probably just, hey, he's nervous, you know. Family probably at the game, you know, girl at the game. He just nervous. He just get them jitters out of it. Sometimes he shot so he was so aggressive and moving so fast that he forgot his assignments. I saw that on at least one play. Like, okay, like you forgot your assignment. But hey, that's I'd rather him be over aggressive than being passive. Especially my pass rusher. I'd rather my pass rusher be over aggressive than passive. You know, and I saw the agility, you know, of him being a pass rusher last night. I seen the athleticism. I seen all of that last night, man, and it was great. It was great to see. Great to see. I think Jalen and also James Pierce have the potential to be top 5 all-time pass rushers in Atlanta Falcons history. But off one game, and y'all don't hold me to this. Don't go so, well, man, Titus said Pierce way better than Jalen Walker. That's not what I'm saying. But judging just off the half of preseason football that I saw, I think Pierce is right now more advanced than Jalen is. You know, maybe Jalen had a harder assignment blocking him. I don't know, but I'm just telling y'all what I saw last night. I seen James Pierce. Hey, man, he put on damn near a clinic last night. He ain't getting no sacks. He almost got some sacks. He kept the quarterback uncomfortable and moving around. You know, he caused running backs to change decisions and go into different gaps, go into different holes. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of that stuff ain't gonna show up on the stat sheet. And the thing about it, as the regular season starts, the regular season progresses, everything that I'm saying is gonna eventually turn to sacks. Because you know, hey, I'm gonna beat this guy. You know, I'm gonna have the quarterback running away from me, and that's gonna cause y'all to come get sacked. Brandon Rook, y'all gonna be able to take advantage of this. Jalen Walker, I'm gonna flush him to you. You know, I got 3 or 4 sacks that you can get because they ran it from me. I even saw them throw them double teams at James Pierce last night also. So I was more impressed, and I'm not trying to make this competition, y'all, at all. But I was more impressed from Pierce than I was Jalen Walker last night. I gotta be honest. Gotta be honest. So shout out to the Tennessee Volunteers. I think my boy Brandon Dolis, you know, he played very, very good football also last night. I got to keep repeating that, man. I think Brandon Dolis could be a special gem for us, man. Again, I'm just a little bit concerned about him possibly being undersized. That's the only thing. I was watching him last night, like, damn, he little to be on that line, but the stuff he be doing with his hands, like, bro, dog, watch this man hand technique. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Watch his hand technique. He can get what he want to get with his hands. I don't know who taught him that. You know, I need to go do some research, and maybe he done said in the interview, like, who worked with him and taught him his hand technique when it comes to rushing the passer. But man, that shit is top tier. You know, because I don't think he's overly strong, because he ain't that big. He look like a little cannonball. But man, that guy's hand technique, boy. And then, you know, so seeing that from the young guys, you know, Jalen, James, Brandon, Root, and that just makes me a lot more confident when the vets get on the field. You know, Amyamata, Jesse Bays, AJ Terrell, Kane Ellis, you know, and I'm hoping that the veteran talent, you know, led by a guy like Jesse Bates, AJ Terrell, their veteran talent will mesh well with the young guys and their you know, their young emphatic energy. You know, I'm just hoping that the marriage of the two will come together And this can be a very formidable defense for the Falcons, not just in 2025, but going far beyond 2025. Because that's been a problem we've had for decades now. Yeah, we might have, the sun shines on the dog's ass every now and then. We'll get lucky and the stars will align right, and we got some sorry teams and sorry quarterbacks. Yeah, okay, we'll get a top 10 defense. I think that's what happened. What year that was? What, 20? I think that's what happened in 2023. But anyway, we can't never consistently do it. We'll be ranked number 9 in the NFL in total defense one year, and then the very next year we rank 28, 29. So I'm really hoping what we've built here with the veterans that we have and these young guys that we got coming in, that it'll be a marriage, and it'll be able to give us consistent results. Because I really think that's what we really hadn't had. We've seen consistently very good and consistently great offenses in Atlanta, because that's what our franchise love. They love high octane offense. But it's time to do that on defense also, So I'll be looking forward to seeing what preseason game 2 will be. Can James Pierce continue to flash and show signs of he's going to be great? Can Jalen Walker show that, hey, I'm going to continue to improve? Can Brandon Doyle still going to be the hibachi chef with them hands? Karate Kid. What I'm saying? I'm going to be looking. And I guess next game, I'll probably go back and watch this game a little bit too. But I need to see what Billy Bowman did and Xavier Watts. I'll be honest, I didn't get a chance to watch them. I was really just focused on the pass rushers and Brandon Doyle, and then of course I caught Josh Woods, and then Easton Stick, quarterbacking and whatnot. But overall, I was pretty satisfied with what we did. I feel like the guys played hard. I feel like they played hard. I felt like they're ready to play. There were still some gaps late in the game on offense that, we were giving up big plays, and we were letting their quarterback get outside the pocket and run, which I did not like, But with time, those are things that we can improve on. So week 2, I'm going to continue to see, like, hey, what Pierce going to look like, what Jalen Walker going to look like. And then I'm going to look at, the defensive backs and see what they look like as well. And I'm hoping, y'all, that this defense really can do some special things, because I feel like if the defense can step up, man, and just give us some good football, this team would definitely get in the playoffs, and they can make some noise in the playoffs. If not, if this defense is ranked 25th, 26th, 27th, hey, man, it's probably gonna be another 8-9 or 7-10 season. Just being honest. I don't know if Michael Penix is at the point where he can overcome a bad defense just yet. I don't know if he's at the point in his maturation that you ask a first-year starter, okay, well, overcome a terrible defense. Now, the defense is just all right. If they rank 16th to 17th, I'm cool with that, because I feel like that's a 9 or 10 win team still. I'm cool with that. And you just continue to build and get better through the drafts and through free agency. But they rank 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th. Excuse me. It's going to be another long season. It's going to be another long season. So I need this defense to be good. And I think James Pierce, man, it's hard to tell anything off of just one half in the preseason, man. But I think he'll come out here and get at least 7 sacks this year, bro. At a minimum. I think Pierce going to get at least 7 sacks. And I might be being conservative in saying that, but I'm saying a minimum. So that means he could come out and get like 8 or 9. Who knows? But I did like what I saw last night, man. I was pleased with that. Check out some of the comments real quick. I should have put my damn glasses on. Georgia, Texas boy in the house. What's up, Georgia, Texas? What's going on, AtlantaBirdGang Falcons family? That new eras here in Atlanta Falcons will rise in 2025 and beyond. I sure hope so. Shout out to you, Georgia, Texas boy. I do get some good vibes out of what I saw last night, man. I'm just hoping that, we can just continue to get better every single week as a football team. That's what I'm hoping for. Coach says, you guys like Drummond are the reason I'm cool with the starters not playing. Let us see and let us hold on. And guys like Drummond are the reason I'm cool with the starters not playing. Let us see and let us coaches see. Let us and the coaches see that should get a roster spot. We know the starter got a spot. Good point, Coach. Good point. And speaking of that, Coach, that's been another a conversation that we've been having about the starters. Should the Falcons be playing? And I'm glad you brought it up, Coach. Should the Falcons be playing their starters in the preseason? That's something that like we've been discussing on Facebook, and I should just say I've been seeing it really all over social media in terms of Falcons fans, not just Facebook, but I see that conversation also on Twitter as well. And that's what I was trying to be a little bit funny when I put that in the title, said Raheem Morris has already made a monumental mistake. So let's go ahead and dig into that here, and then we'll check out here. I don't mean to be on here too long tonight. But y'all tell me, do you feel like the Falcons should play their starters in the preseason? Obviously, Raheem Morris has pretty much said it ain't gonna happen, unless they like one of these young guys like Pierce or Walker that's probably gonna start. And the only reason they're playing, well, I'm sure at least one of them start. The only reason they're playing right now because they are rookies, so I feel like he feels like they really need the reps, which I do agree. But how do y'all feel about the approach that Raheem Morris has, where essentially he's saying like, look, y'all get mad if y'all want to, but as long as I'm the head coach, the starters ain't gonna be playing in the preseason. My quarterback definitely ain't gonna play in the preseason. So y'all let me know what y'all think about that in the comments. Do you think the starters should play preseason, or it's just like, it don't really matter that much to you? While y'all tell me what y'all think, I'm gonna tell you what I think. For me, I don't have. All right, let me say it like this first. For me, as a Falcons fan, I want to see the starters play in the preseason. I want to see Michael Penix play football. I want to see Bijan run the football. I want to see Jesse Bates, in the preseason. The sooner the better. It's like being a kid, and instead of Christmas being on December 25th, it's on December the 1st. The sooner the better. But that's me. What I want to see as a fan. Do I feel like they need to start? I don't feel like they need to start. I don't feel like the starters need to play in the preseason, just in general. I don't really feel like it matters that heavily right now, in the NFL, especially now in 2025. I don't know the numbers, but it might be safe to say that more than half of head coaches don't really play their starters in the preseason anymore. You've had some changes in the CBA, and especially, they were starting to trend toward this anyway. Because football is constantly changing. So they were starting to kind of, get away from that Iron Man of football, or the starters play in the preseason. Are you gonna play every game in the regular season because you're an Iron Man and that's what Iron Man is supposed to do? And then they started to see like, well, you know what? I could be an Iron Man, but I still need some rest. You know what I'm saying? I still need some rest. So they were starting to trend away from that anyway. And once the 17th regular season game came into play, more and more coaches just started saying, you know what? No, I'm not playing my starters. No, we just added another game. I'm going to sit my starters. My starters are going to rest. So don't expect to see me put my quarterback out there. No, my starters are not going to play. I don't really feel like it tilts the scale either way. Whether your starters play, okay, cool. Whether your starters sit, okay, cool. I don't really feel like it tilts the scale either way. And then we had a discussion on Facebook, and And I asked the question. I said, okay, because again, to me, it really don't matter. I don't have a hard stance either way. If Raheem would have sent Penix out there the first play of the game, I'm cool with it. With him benching, I should say benching, with him deciding not to start his starters game one, I'm cool with that too. I'm cool. Either way, I'm good. It don't matter to me either way. It don't, just be ready to play week one. That's all I really care about. But oh yeah, Facebook. I had asked a question on Facebook. I said, you know, is there any like data that shows playing your starters in preseason equates to more wins? Or is there some data or is there data that says benching your starters in the preseason equates to more losses and less wins? You know, because like I say, it don't really matter to me. But if somebody can show me some data that says, okay, you know, we surveyed this amount of teams over the last 7 to 10 years who benched their starters in the preseason, and they won 57% of all their games over the last 10 years, compared to this study that we surveyed this group of teams over the last 7 to 10 years. They played their starters in the preseason, and they only got 52%. They only won 52% of their games during the same stretch of time. Like, I want to see some data. I need to see numbers, because I really don't care either way, one way or the other. But if somebody can come and give me some data that says, hey, the data, not any opinions, no opinions, but hardcore substantiated data that says, yes, the data says if you play your starters in the preseason, you will win. You will win 5% more games than a team who doesn't play their starters. So by you playing your starters, you're going to probably win 57% of your regular season games, and the teams that don't start their starters are only going to win 52% of their games. So if somebody can show me some data like that one way or the other, okay, you got my attention, and that'll help me formulate a hard stance. And I really feel like, you know, with all the data the NFL has at their fingertips, it seems like that somebody should have that. You know, are all these stat companies like Pro Football Focus and ESPN and all these big companies like that? But like that's my opinion on it, man. Like, I'm not gonna come down to Raheem Morris and say he's making a mistake because he isn't playing the starters in the preseason. You know, because I don't know. Like, you got to show me something. You like a lot of things with me. Like, when I don't have an opinion one way or the other, the data will help me determine my decision. Okay, if I'm 50-50, like, yeah, play him, or yes, bench him, what does the data say? Not anybody's opinion, but what does the unbiased data say? You know, I need to see the data. What does the data tell me? You know, what does that data say? You know, and another component about this, because I'll be joking sometime and being a smart ass, because people will be like, well, man, we need a coach like Dan Campbell, man. You know, we need to look at what Dan Campbell did for the Lions. Rah, we need Dan Campbell, because, you know, I've been hearing that, you know, probably about for the last year and a half, about how the Falcons need to find their own Dan Campbell. But what did Dan Campbell do last night? He benched the starters. So I'm like, okay, y'all say this is the coach. Y'all say our coach need to be like Dan Campbell. Well, what does Campbell do? He benched his starters. He didn't play his starters in the Hall of Fame game either. So if we need a coach like Dan Campbell, y'all saying, you know, you want a coach that's not going to play their starters. Because he didn't play his starters either. So I just think ultimately it don't matter that much. My personal opinion really don't matter that much. You know, like if you're like if your line of thinking or if your line of rationale is like, okay, because I've heard multiple people say, man, well, just play the starters just play them for a series, just one series. You know, what's that gonna hurt? You know, just play them for one series. I would to play the devil's advocate or to be the role. Somebody's told me stop saying devil's advocate, but to have a varying opinion instead of saying devil's advocate. To have a varying opinion, I would say, okay, all right, so you want to see the starters for one series. Okay, so let's say we dress out Michael Penix. We roll him out there, first preseason game, and we allow him to hand the ball off 3 times, and we go 3 and out, and now he sit down for the rest of the night. So he go out there for the first series just because, you know, that's what some people feel is best, to get at least a series, just because. And we go 3 and out, he hand the ball off 3 times. Or, you know what? I'll give in a little bit. He hands the ball off 2 times, and he throws the ball 1 time. We go 3 and out, and he come back to the bench, he don't play no more. Now, can we honestly say that those 3 plays made him a better quarterback? Just those 3 plays. Going 3 and out, handing the ball off twice, and throwing an 18-yard incompletion. Did those 3 plays make him a better quarterback? Did they make him a better quarterback? Now, for me, if you want to have any effectiveness in the preseason, well, the guys need to actually play preseason, meaning that they need to be out there about the same amount of time as James Pierce and Jalen Walker play. You need to play them about a half. You know, if you want to get any real effects of playing them in the preseason, in my opinion, like just playing these guys for 1 series or 2 series, like is 8 plays when Penix only throw the ball twice in 8 plays, does that really make him a better quarterback in 2025? Out of the thousands of plays that he's ran in training camp and all those reps he's doing in training camp, interest team scrimmages and joint practices with other teams, that's whether people want to accept this or not, or like this or not, but that's either slowly, gradually is probably a better word. That's gradually becoming the new preseason for starters. Scrimmages and joint practices. That's gradually becoming the new preseason for starters, especially quarterbacks. You know, especially quarterbacks. Because, like, that 1 series or that 2 series you want Penix to get out there, as a head coach, you're thinking to yourself, yeah, it wouldn't hurt to put him out there, but you know what? If he falls wrong or somebody falls on him and he gets a high ankle sprain or a strained hamstring and now he's hurt and now he's day-to-day, was those 3 or 4 plays worth it? Now that he's hurt, was that worth it? Especially being that you got a 17-game season now. See, and that's what coaches think now. And that's what they think. A lot of these coaches are not playing their starters, or they're definitely not playing their quarterbacks. They're just not taking that risk, especially with a 17-game season. And not only have they added another game, but they don't have another bye week yet. So a lot of these coaches, they're like, no, man, like, no. We're not finna sit here and I'm not finna take that risk and put my start out there. I'm not gonna do it. You know, not just for him to throw a pass or 2. And like I'm saying, does that make him a better player? Now, on the flip side, if Raheem Morris says, okay, I'm gonna play my starter, hey, I'm cool with that too. Because until I see some data, I don't know if playing a starter is what helps you win more, or I don't know if benching the starters helps you win more. Does the rest help you more? You know, and I mentioned when we talking about this, I said, well, you know, this conversation really ain't about, you know, who's winning the most Super Bowls, but Nick Sirianni and the Eagles, like, He didn't play his starters last year, and they won a Super Bowl. You know, and to even build upon that, y'all remember when Saquon was about to break the record, and we all thought that he was going to play to break the record. And Coach Sirianni said, "Big dog, I got some bad news. I got some good news and some bad news. What you want? You want the good news first, or you want the bad news first?" Coach, give me the bad news first. Son, you're not going to play to break that record, the final game of the season. It ain't going to happen. I'm sorry about that. I would love for you to break it, but that's not the ultimate goal. I'm sorry, and there's really no debate about it. I do apologize, son. That's the bad news. Well, damn, Coach, I'm really looking forward to that, blah, 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 blah. Well, don't you want to know the good news? Yeah, Coach, what's the good news? Son, by you resting, the rest of my starters resting, Jalen Hurts resting, we will have an advantage in February during the Super Bowl. Guess what? They had an advantage. They were all rested. They rested the preseason. They rested the final game of the regular season. And they won the Super Bowl in a dominant fashion. I mean, dominant fashion. So there's an argument to be made that, hey, resting today's athlete is just as beneficial as running a bunch of reps or exercising or any strenuous activities in today's athlete. It's just, it's so many different ways to look at this. And then you can pull some numbers or you can go look at some years or some situations and say, well, this team that the actual reverse of what I just said, this team that played their starters in the preseason, they went on and they went to do this and they won this year. So it goes either way. It really just depends on what your personal opinion on it is. My personal opinion is whatever the coach decides. I look at it this way. The coach, whoever the coach is at the time, they see them every single day. When they at training camp, they're around each other more than they're around their own wives. They see them every single day. So if the coach feel like, well, no, my starters don't need to play preseason, I'm good with that. If coach see him and he like, oh man, we win what we need to be. We look sluggish out there. We have not gotten a grasp of all of our assignments yet. We're making too many mistakes. Yeah, y'all gonna suit up. Y'all playing at least a quarter this first preseason game. And if I feel like you got to play the second preseason game, we'll do that too. Why? Because he see them every day. I don't see them every day. I only really see them on TV. But the coach see every single day. He is seeing these guys. He's interacting with them. He's talking to them. He's in 3-hour meetings with them. He's seeing these guys every day. Us fans, we see him on TV, or is when we drive down the Flowery Branch when they let us come to training camp. And let's be honest, we are all adults now. Most of the people who watch this channel, from looking at my analytics, all of us are over 35 years old. Most of my audience is over 35 years old. So that means you done hit the stage of life where you got responsibilities. Whether that means you got to get up and go to work every day, you got to get Junior up, and take him to school. You got to get your baby girl up and get her to school. You got your wife, you got your husband, you got your girl, you got your man. You got real adult responsibilities is what I'm trying to say. By saying that, if you go into training camp, your real life responsibilities only allow you to get to Flowery Branch once or twice a year. Most people, the vast majority of people, we don't have the luxury where we can attend every training camp. So you can say, you know what, I've seen these boys every single day like the coaches are, and they need preseason football. Hardly, unless that's part of your job, unless you like somebody like D-Led, shout out to D-Led, unless you actually you get paid to watch and cover the Falcons in person every single day, like a D-Led or who else, Joe Patrick, any of the names that cover these guys, you're not privy to put your eyeballs on them every day. And even the people in the media, when the practice is over, they gotta they do their post practice interview, then they gotta get the hell on. They ain't out there sleeping at Flower Branch. They ain't in the meetings. They ain't doing none of that. But the coaches, they're doing all of that. So if the guy that sees them every day says, hey, man, my boys ain't running we ain't running no preseason, I'm good with that. If the guy that sees them every day say, hey, man, y'all boy playing the first quarter, the first half, if y'all don't get it right, y'all might be out there for the start of the third quarter. I'm good with that. I don't have a hardline opinion one way or the other. You know, that's a coach's decision. Whatever the coaches decide, I'm gonna run with it. I've seen plenty of circumstances where teams have set their starters in the preseason and they've been very successful. Lamar Jackson ain't played the preseason game in damn near 5 years. In Baltimore, they're in the playoffs every single year. You know, every single year they're in the playoffs. You know, same with Patrick Mahomes. He play in the preseason damn near every year, and they're normally either in the Super Bowl or the conference final every year. So either way, you got evidence either way. If you feel like you pro preseason, you can go pull some evidence to say, this supports my opinion. If you feel like, you know, they don't have to play preseason, you got some evidence, this supports my opinion. But for me, it don't matter to me. Like, if the starters don't play one preseason snap this year, I'm good with that. If they come out and they play the first half of game 2 in the preseason, I'm good with that too. Shit, you know, it is what it is. You know, I say the coach see these boys every day, man. We don't see them every day. You know, we do not see them every day. But for the most fans, because trust me, not everybody goes to training camp. Most fans only see the guys on TV, you know? So at some point, hey man, just let it, you know, trust in your coach, you know, let your coach do their jobs, man. Let your coach do the jobs, you know. Our owner, he hire who he want to hire. So, you know, just trust that, you know, he's making the best decisions for the team. And if he's not, he won't be here this time next year. We'll be talking about a brand new coach this time next year, and we'll be wondering whether or not they gonna play the stars in the preseason. The coach before Raheem Morris was Arthur Smith. I don't think Arthur Smith was playing his starters in the preseason either. And that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, where we're at presently in NFL football, because pretty soon we're gonna get 18 games. You know, then they may add a second bye week. But right now, the current era of NFL football, a lot of these head coaches don't play the starters in the preseason, man. I don't know the numbers, but I think it's fair to say that probably now, this offseason, 2025, or this preseason, I think more coaches are not playing their quarterbacks and most of their starters in the preseason than the ones that are. And I do know and I do understand, again, most of the audience on this channel is 35 plus. I do understand that we came up when we was young and we was watching, you know, we was watching that era of NFL players playing preseason football. You know, everybody just played in the preseason. That's just how it was, unless you was hurt or unless you was nursing the injury. But that was that era of football. That was that era. And that era is no longer prevalent. It's no longer here. You know, they don't play that style of football no more. They don't have those same kind of rules anymore. So, you know, we got to be acceptant of how things are done in different eras. It's kind of like us old heads who are rap fans. You know, I find myself getting caught up in it sometimes. Like, man, and when they're like 90s rap, boy, I'm telling y'all, boy, Tupac, Bone, Biggie, Wu-Tang, Mobb Deep, like, man, y'all generation wet compared to what we were doing, blah, 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 blah. But the young rap fans now, like, bro, they don't care. Like, I'm not sitting here listening to no Outkast like you are, bro. Like, that ain't my vibe. I'd rather listen to Migos. And I had to kind of accept that too. Like, okay, well, when I was 22, 23, saying the same thing to my older uncles in their 40s, you know, they were looking like, boy, that shit, y'all listen to now, they ain't nothing, boy. Rakim and Cool Modi, MC Shan, KRS-One. You know, you always show biases to your eras, but you know, you can't get so absorbed into how things were in the past that you're dismissive of how things are presently. Is ultimately what I'm trying to say. And if you can't realize, see, or understand that we're moving in a direction where less and less and less teams are playing starters in the preseason, then you're really not paying attention. You're really not paying attention. But that's my spiel on it, man. That's my spiel. It don't matter to me either way. I'm not gonna hold against Raheem if he don't play his starters. I'm not gonna hold against Raheem if he do play his starters. Don't matter to me either way. I've seen teams win Super Bowls playing their starters in preseason. I've seen teams win Super Bowls by sitting their starters in the preseason. And until I can get some substantiated data to sway my opinion one way or the other, I'm gonna let the coach. I'm gonna let him coach. I'm gonna be a fan. Now we start losing a bunch of games. Okay, let's be a little more vocal and voice my displeasures. But until then, like, hey man, hey, we hadn't won or we hadn't lost our first game yet. So I'm going into the season with some good vibes, and you know, hopefully, you know, this team this year can finally get us a win the season, which we ain't seen in a long time since 2017. And also shout out to my dog. Also, Cool C is in the house. Repping that 770. Shout out to the whole 770 in this thing. Shout out to area. Actually, shout out to all the area codes across Georgia. 770-478-4404, 470-229-912. Everybody, man. Everybody. Hey, man, but that's all I got, man. That's all I got. I want to kind of make this a little short and snappy. You know, spoke a little bit about the preseason, spoke a little bit about the preseason game last night. You know, how them boys look, how that young defense look. And I'm hyped up about the season, man. You know, I feel like if this defense can show up for us, we can do some big things. Also, I said this somewhere, but you know, let's be realistic about our expectations for Michael Penix too. Now, you know, don't let's not expect this young man to come out here and walk on water. He's gonna have some highs, he's gonna have some lows, you know. But hey, you know, let's just hope the highs are way more than the lows. But you know what? I'm gonna catch y'all again real soon. I want to appreciate and thank everybody that came through, man. I appreciate y'all as usual. I'm out of here. Till I see y'all again. Peace out. Y'all be blessed. Gone.